can be no divide on crime in the country. We all have to come together and draw a line in the sand. And those who are with the criminals, should recognize that the criminals are no respecter of lives. They will turn on you one day.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness is right. If we want safety, security, peace and prosperity, we have to band it together to stomp out crime and violence. And it starts right there in your corner of the rock. Speak up when you see injustice. Teach your children how to stay clear of a life of crime. And most important, tell the police what you know. Your favorite magazine program starts right now. I'm Adrian Atkinson.
When criminals disagree, they seek revenge. Murder, arson, rape, whatever causes terrible suffering. It doesn't matter who gets hurt. Women, children and the elderly, they are the main targets. Don't support the criminals. Don't cover up for them. Don't take their money. Take a stand now for the right of our women and children to be free from fear and abuse. Silence brings violence.
A message from the Ministry of National Security.
Good day, I'm Theodore Henry, and this is your JIS News for Monday, August 14. Residents from the communities of Breadnut and Rosewell in Clarendon have become the recipients of piped water to their homes for the first time in 30 years. This after the Rosewell Water Supply Project was officially commissioned into service on Friday at the Rosewell Primary School. It's the result of a partnership among the National Water Commission, Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, and the Rural Water Supply Limited. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says it speaks to government's determination to explore all methods of delivering potable water to Jamaicans. In addition to these kinds of projects, he says greater use of rainwater harvesting is being explored for sections of the island that pose engineering challenges.
The government is looking at mainstreaming and putting in place a legislation to support rainwater harvesting as an efficient means of providing water in fulfillment of the acknowledgement that water is a human right for every citizen.
Pipeline construction for the Rosewell Water Supply Project was completed at a cost of $38 million, representing $12 million in savings over the original project cost. A new 16-station community access point has been opened in Anota Bay, St. Mary, giving residents access to internet and a variety of computer-related services. The Anota Bay Computer Resource Center is situated on the grounds of the St. Teresa Roman Catholic Church. The Universal Service Fund spent $3.5 million to outfit the facility with new desktop computers, internet broadband service, a printer, projector, air conditioning units, and electrical upgrading. Technology Minister Dr. Andrew Wheatley says the facility will be a pivotal community empowerment tool that enables educational advancement, job creation, and economic growth. During the recent opening, he announced plans to designate the Claude Stewart Park in Port Maria a public internet Wi-Fi hotspot. This will join others in locations such as St. William Grant Park, Devon House and Halfway Tree in the corporate area, and sections of Mandeville, Manchester.
We have to ensure that we not only concentrate on access in the urban areas, but ensure that the entire Jamaica gets access.
The Anota Bay CAP Center is the 256th one to be established across the island. At least 15 additional sites are to be established during this fiscal year. The Ministry of Health has launched a social marketing campaign to encourage persons living with HIV to take their medication and to continue to do so for life. The campaign, dubbed Test and Start, Get on Your Meds and Get On With Life, also encourages persons to get tested for HIV in order to know their status.
We're targeting all persons living with HIV. We're looking at the newly diagnosed persons as well, and in particular those who are lost to follow up and how we can get them back into care.
Data from UNAIDS shows that the risk of progression to AIDS diagnosis was reduced by 53% among people who initiated treatment shortly after diagnosis, compared to those whose treatment was deferred until much later. Jamaica has seen a 64% decline in AIDS mortality rates between 2004 and 2015. This is attributed to the introduction of public access to antiretroviral treatment in 2004 and the scaling up of national HIV testing. An additional 1,200 new patients will be eligible to initiate treatment under the Test and Start initiative. Patients affected by glaucoma and cataract will soon have improved access to corrective eye surgeries at the Kingston Public Hospital. This is through the donation of a state-of-the-art laser machine gifted by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints' Global Charities. The machine, costing $70,000, provides laser treatment for medication conditions within the anterior segment of the eye. It is to be installed shortly. During a recent symbolic handover ceremony at the hospital, KPH's Chief Executive Officer, Arnold says the equipment will help to speed up the waiting time for surgeries.
This valuable piece of equipment will go a long way in enhancing our service delivery and bring us up to speed with modern technology.
And finally, the Early Childhood Commission, ECC, has reported that an additional 8 early childhood institutions have met its 12 operating standards and are now certified. This brings to 55 the total number of early childhood institutions that have attained certification to date. Executive Director of the ECC, Carleen DeGrasse Deslandes, has applauded the effort of all the institutions that attained certification recently. But she's encouraging the others to exercise urgency in joining their ranks. The Early Childhood Commission has been promoting the certification of all early childhood institutions as one of its mission-critical legislated requirements. The ultimate goal is to improve access to high-quality early childhood programs and services. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.
The Ministry of Education, Youth and Information is committed to ensuring that every Jamaican child has the best learning environment to thrive and needs your cooperation to make the education system work successfully. That is why we are ensuring that all Jamaicans have full access to secondary education. Tuition is free of cost to you, but the government can't pay for everything, so do continue with your voluntary contributions. These contributions cover the expenses of co-curricular and sports activities and school development projects. We have also increased our support for PATH students. That's right, PATH students are not expected to make contributions, and they will be provided with 5 days of free lunches. We know that a hungry child cannot learn. The ministry has implemented a literature book rental program, free insurance and IDs for PATH students in high schools. This government cares for you. We believe that every child can learn. Every child must learn.
Up next, the latest stories coming out of the office of the Prime Minister.
Gov.jm launched, Barbican Road Improvement Project contract signed, and Prime Minister strengthens resolve to fight crime. You're watching Jamaica House Weekly. I'm Simone Wolf. Jamaicans now have one-stop access to various public sector services on the web. On Wednesday, government launched its gov.jm site, bringing together information and services from over 200 government web portals. Prime Minister Andrew Holness said the portal was part of his administration's efforts to reduce red tape across the public service.
Because in the process of integrating information, you will recognize redundancies. Bringing the information together forces the bureaucracy to start to look at its business processes and engineer them for efficiency.
Mr. Holness also called for a public education program to be developed to encourage Jamaicans to more fully embrace online service transactions. Still in development, the gov.jm website allows for tax and traffic fine payments, doing business in Jamaica, and accessing applications for passport, permits, and licenses. The Jamaican government and Inter-American Development Bank funded project is executed through a partnership between the Public Sector Transformation and Modernization Program and the Technology Ministry.
What we are doing from a strategic perspective is to make Kingston the city that is well planned to support our 2030 vision.
And so on Wednesday, the Prime Minister also signed a $4.4 million contract for the Barbican Road Improvement Project. Slated for completion in December, sections of the roadway will widen to 2 and 4 lanes. Sidewalks, LED lights and traffic signals will be installed.
This Barbican Road Improvement Project will deliver a corridor that will be able to handle a high volume of traffic in a much more efficient and comfortable manner.
While the roadway is being widened, the National Water Commission will be expanding its water and sewer pipes in the area at a cost of $331 million. And the Prime Minister was in Clarendon Friday for another water project. After 30 years, residents of Rosewell, Palmetto Pen, Breadnut Bottom and surrounding areas now have water in their taps. The $38 million National Water Commission Rural Water Supply Project was done $12 million below budget. Mr. Holness used Friday's commissioning ceremony to encourage residents to pay their water bills so that government can increase its provision of water to other needy communities.
I can only make the appeal that you pay something for your water to increase the revenue so that we can get the to make the investment so that more deserving communities like Rosewell can get their water. You have the opportunity to lead the transformation of this country. As the person with the responsibility for the country now, my job is to ensure that you are empowered to transform your own country.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness' pledge to participants at Thursday's launch of the National Youth Summer Employment Program. The program is being operated by the Ministry of Local Government and Community Development and involves 4,500 young persons. The latest batch of 2,300 will work in the municipal corporations, undertaking streetlight audits and identifying vulnerable persons within communities. Last week also found Prime Minister Andrew Holness taking steps to assure Jamaicans that government's engagement with foreign investors would help, not hurt, the island's quest for prosperity. He gave assurance that in developing and attaining first world standards, no one would be left behind.
Jamaica wants to develop and attain first world standards, and we can't do it by shutting off ourselves from the world. We can only do it by integrating ourselves and making ourselves a critical element and node in the world economy.
And the Prime Minister welcomed a number of visitors to Jamaica House this past week. On Wednesday, he met with the Charge d'Affaires of the Republic of Korea. Thursday, Mr. Holness co-chaired a meeting of the National Road Safety Council. That's it for Jamaica House Weekly. Be sure to join us next time for the news coming out of the office of the Prime Minister.
Nominations are now open for the 2017 Prime Minister's Youth Awards for Excellence. Persons 15 to 29 years old may apply and be recognized for their work in 11 exciting categories. There's also a Jamaica 55 commemorative category for youth engaged in community-based volunteerism. Access nomination forms by visiting moey.gov.jm, youthjamaica.com, or any youth information center across the island. Nominations close August 31.
It's roughly 3 weeks before the start of the new school year, but for sixth formers, the school year may be closer than that. If you or someone you know is entering sixth form, watch this next feature.
We've all been there. As our academic careers unfold, we have many transitions. from basic school, then to primary school, and then to high school.
College is usually the next step, but wait, there's another shorter transition between those main high school years and the university campus.
Sixth form is considered as that transition period. It is a period within which the students are moving from a kind of school feeding type of education to one where they now have to do more critical thinking, they have to do additional research, and they have to pretty much function at a different level as they prepare themselves for the next stage in their education. Students are actually exiting secondary level at a younger age, some at age 15, some at age 16. And in accordance with our regulation, there would be 2 additional years that they should really be within the school system. And so the sixth form program provides those 2 additional years for the students to develop the level of maturity that is required for them to move on to tertiary level institutions or for them to move into the world of work.
But apart from developing your maturity, sixth form is where you prepare to sit those critical CAPE subjects.
After sixth form, I would like to go to the UWI Mona to study medicine, and UWI requires CAPE, so that is why I really want to do CAPE.
And before you even get to university, the CAPE program will allow you to develop critical thinking and leadership skills because you're most likely to be selected to be student leaders for the lower school.
I was a prefect at the Edwin Hallin High School, and from the CAPE program I've learned leadership skills, and along with being a prefect I've learned to be on time, punctual actually, right? I've learned to be punctual, and along with that I've been a peer council coordinator. I've been the project manager for the Key Club.
It is very important that as students are being prepared to become adults, that they are fully rounded in different areas. And the academics, while it is extremely important, it is also very important that they are involved in some kind of cultural or socially related activities, sports included, for their development.
While I was attending the Portmore Community College, I was involved in female football team, cheerleading, as well as drama. But doing these extracurricular activities, I was nervous. I didn't know to manage my time. But as time goes by, I know also do the most important stuff first.
But despite the various opportunities that you can receive from the sixth form program, the transition can be difficult to navigate at first.
Well, I'm extremely nervous about sixth form. I know that I have to put in extra work, because it's not that easy as CXC, as everyone is saying. But I'm kind of looking forward to it.
So if you're like Gabriel and you're feeling the nerves, fret not. You have nothing to worry about.
Now, sixth form is sometimes seen as a status symbol. So if you're in sixth form, it simply means that you would have done exceptionally well. So it is a time when our students should settle down, they should relax, and they should work as hard as they possibly can.
For those who are nervous and don't know what to expect, overall, I would say that CAPE is actually a very good program. It prepares you for university, and it prepares you for life on a whole.
After doing our six, I would say, try it. It's very exciting, it's new. It will take you to the next step of your career, because you know most universities requires CAPE, so it's very good. I enjoyed it.
If the sixth form program is what awaits you this September, embrace the opportunities it has to offer. All you have to do is have an open mind, work hard, get involved, and manage your time well. All the best.
Preparing for back to school can be a stressful task if not planned carefully. That's why it's important for you to make a list and deal with each task one at a time. Here are a few tips to consider when shopping for books. Before you buy any book, check with friends, neighbors, and family members for ones you can borrow. You should also check with schools, churches, and the community groups that may have a recycle book program or stores that sell second-hand books. After you have done all that, check the prices at various bookstores in order to get the best price. You could also buy books that will be used early in the school year first, if you can't buy all at once. Act now and avoid the last-minute rush.
Know your numbers and control the keys to a healthier heart. Know the numbers for your blood pressure, cholesterol level, blood glucose level, and your weight and body mass index. Give yourself a fighting chance. Find out the risks they represent and what you need to do to stay healthy. Talk to your doctor and start making healthy lifestyle choices to prevent a heart attack or stroke.
Nutrition is an important part of decreasing your risk for some lifestyle diseases. Take a look.
We must exercise. We must seek to eat the right portions of the food groups that these studies have shown are important to a healthy body. And healthcare in Jamaica, I think, needs to shift somewhat away from the challenges of curing ailments to the challenge of preventing.
And as Jamaica moves to balance its disease prevention interventions with the curative aspects of healthcare, Jamaicans must explore the role that the foods we eat can play. Nutrition does play a role, both as a risk factor and as a tool for managing diseases such as cancer.
Essentially, cancer occurs whenever one of the cells in the body decides that it's going to misbehave and not listen to any instructions at all. And so it just grows and grows and grows and doesn't listen to the regular body signals to say, this is how you should behave. So it's really a misbehaving cell which proliferates and grows and it then becomes a misbehaving tissue.
And what you eat or not can make a difference in how your body's cells behave.
The fundamental control systems in your body are all chemicals. And therefore, the chemicals that you put in your body comes from food. So if there is any mismatch or which can occur, one can end up with having what we call a risk of cancer.
Doctors say that a typical diet for most Jamaicans, with its huge servings of starchy foods like rice, flour, yam and banana, with only small amounts of vegetables, does not provide the healthy benefits that can come through a diet. Instead, doctors suggest eating more fruits and vegetables rich in fiber and antioxidants, and fresh foods high in calcium and vitamin D. Fat-related chemicals are among those that tend to promote cancer, so diets that are high in fat create more of a predisposition to the disease. Alcohol can also have a negative impact.
We say you should not smoke. We also say that you should not consume alcohol if at all possible. The equivalent of an ounce a day is perhaps the limit that we'd allow.
Of course, there are other things not in our foods, found in our environment, which can cause you to get cancers, including toxins such as asbestos. But our focus here is on the role of what we consume, particularly processed foods, which doctors agree should only be eaten in minimal amounts. Some processed meats, for instance, have been linked to things like the propensity to develop colon cancer. To lower the risks, nutritionists recommend fresh meats that are broiled, baked, or steamed to get rid of the excess fat. Nutrition is seen not only as a means of prevention, but also part of the treatment for diseases such as cancer. Patients with cancer are often given specific nutrition interventions as part of their treatment regimen.
So apart from the specific surgical procedure you may have or the radiological procedure that you may have, radiotherapy, or even the chemotherapy that you may have, nutrition also plays a role in you surviving your therapy.
In striving for a healthy lifestyle, which includes eating well, it's important to maintain physical and mental fitness. Fit individuals engaging in physical exercise at least 3 times per week are more likely not to have any of the chronic, non-communicable diseases such as cancer.
You should engage in at least 3 bouts of physical activity, at least 30 minutes for the day, moderate walking at minimum or the equivalent. You should have to be as stress-free as possible, and you should aim to achieve your ideal body weight. So those factors would generally lead you to what we consider to be a healthy lifestyle, which will tend to protect you not only from cancers, but also other cardiovascular diseases like diabetes and hypertension.
Disease prevention should be our priority. So let's all make our food our medicine and our medicine our food. It's everybody's business.
Children, a brighter tomorrow. Let's renew our pledge to God as we work to heal our land and fellow man. Let's join hands across Jamaica for righteousness. Let's join hands across Jamaica for righteousness.
And that's where we leave you on another edition of Jamaica Magazine. Be sure to join us again tomorrow, right here on this station for more news you can use. We're available 24/7 online, jis.gov.jm, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You may also download our mobile app that's Android and iOS compatible. On behalf of the entire team here at the JIS, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Thank you for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.